Welcome to California Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance. Our roadshow continues. We are in Turlock, California. It is in the Central Valley, and we are joined today by Kristen Olson. We are in your district.
We are, so welcome to Turlock.
I love it. And as we know, she is the leader of the Republican Party in the California State Assembly. How proud your community must be.
Oh, I love the Central Valley.
Yes.
Born and raised here. I feel so honored and proud to represent this community and thrilled that you guys are spending some time here today.
It's our pleasure. Tell us a bit about this area, because I think for many throughout California, there's a sense that the Central Valley really has been struggling in the wake of the downturn and then the drought.
Yeah.
But yet I drive around Turlock and it seems like there's some real activity.
Well, Turlock is a wonderful community. I mean, there's no doubt about the fact that we have great challenges and struggles in the Central Valley. But we're also such charming communities with great opportunities. We're family friendly.
Right.
We're a place that people enjoy having a small business and knowing the neighbors around. And Turlock has done such an exceptional job revitalizing its downtown and having one of those family-friendly, charming communities that's attractive to people.
What about Modesto? I know you had lived in Modesto for a time. You're now in a suburb next door, Riverbank. How is Modesto doing?
Modesto's doing okay. I served on the city council there for a number of years.
Okay, so you
That's
know
where I
Modesto
was
well.
born and raised.
Right.
Modesto's still my home. So it's doing well, but it's struggling. It continues to struggle from low education attainment levels, from unemployment that's one of the highest in the state.
Right.
And so we really have a lot of work to do to experience economic growth.
What's so interesting about the Central Valley and its elected officials is you are all fiercely loyal to each other, Democrat and Republican. It is really a model in a lot of ways. I mean, I have always felt that Sacramento is fairly functional. People can say it's not, but look, I've been to Sacramento. I see you guys together, Dems and Reaps. But really, especially in the Central Valley, you are so tight. Why?
It's true. We pride ourselves on our positive relationships in the Central Valley, and I think it's largely because our constituents here demand results. You know, we're a very pragmatic area of the state.
And very purple.
And very purple area of the state. And the people in the Central Valley, particularly here in Stanislaus County, want to see us working together to drive solutions that will improve the quality of life here. We can't do that by ourselves as either Republicans or Democrats. So we team up and we work together to get good work done.
And as I understand it, on the first day of the legislature this year, you worked with Adam Gray, who happens to be a Democrat representing a community nearby, to reform what's known as the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, a federal law, but there's some state elements as well.
Right. We've had a number of challenges in Modesto, in Turlock, in Manteca, in Merced, with these get-rich-quick schemes where greedy attorneys and plaintiffs have come in and actually even forced some businesses to close because the parking strip might be not painted dark enough, because a sign is slightly in the wrong place. It's not the intention of the ADA.
Right.
And so on the very first day, our entire Central Valley delegation co-authored each other's bills. I put a bill in, Adam Gray put a bill in, to try to curb these frivolous lawsuits and make sure that small businesses can stay open, that they can continue to provide good jobs, while at the same time providing access to the disabled community. And we wanted to show that Central Valley delegation, Republicans and Democrats, working together to solve a very real problem in our communities.
So what's your sense about the likely success of the bill? You know, there are interests on both sides that will be pushing and pulling. Do you feel as if this is the year where the bill can march forward and get some
I think we have momentum behind us. Everybody knows the Assembly Judiciary Committee is a very hard committee to get any kind of lawsuit, tort reform bill through. But the problems have been so well documented and the frivolity of them is just outrageous that we are hopeful that working together as Reaps and Dems on each other's bills, that we'll be successful in advancing reforms that are good for employers, employees, and people in the disabled community alike.
Let's talk about Reaps and the election of 2014. So on the congressional side, Republicans did very well nationwide, but in California, not so much. 4 close races, all 4 went Democratic. But on the state legislative side, I must congratulate the GOP leader in the Assembly, because I think it's fair to say there were 5 races that everyone was looking at. The Assembly Republicans won 4. 2 of them I would call ambushes. The South Bay seat and the Bay Area seat.
Right.
How did that happen? You know, that congressionally a little tough, assembly-wise quite strong.
We're so proud of our success on election night.
right.
We had a strategic plan for an entire year, and we followed it with precision focus to make sure we were successful. And I think what it reflects is we have diverse candidates who are reflective of their communities, who are well known.
And let's talk about those diverse candidates. One of them was in a targeted seat, one was not. I mean, I hate to kind of paint a brush about diversity,
Sure.
but I do think it's relevant. I mean, you talk about Young Kim in a targeted race. She is it the first Korean American?
First Korean American,
Right.
Ling Chang, first Taiwanese
Exactly,
American.
not in a targeted seat, but still.
That's right.
I mean, you know as well as anyone that the Republican Party is often tarred as the party of white men. I mean, I'm talking to a leader who's a white woman, but you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely, and
And-
our caucus
right.
is defying that. We're showing that we're a diverse, broad group of people that reflects all parts of California. And I think that contributed to our success along with their sheer hard work.
And what's also stunning about the addition of Ling Chang and Young Kim is that in the 90s, the Asian American community was pretty strongly Republican. I mean, it has been swinging dramatically to the Democrats. Query whether those two pickups could help to level the playing field a bit.
Absolutely. I think it shows we have momentum behind us. For the first time in 20 years, we unseated a sitting Democrat. And we did it not once, not twice, but 3 times, and then stole the 4th seat in
Right.
Catherine Baker out from under them.
Right.
So we're on a journey, not a race. We want to prove now to voters that we'll be responsible with the opportunities they've given us and
Right.
hopefully continue to grow our caucus, win more elections
Right.
so that there will be a healthier balance in the state legislature.
No question that the supermajorities are gone. Although, look, maybe I'm Pollyanna, but I felt that Republicans were still able to do stuff in the last session with supermajorities.
We got some really good work
that
done.
was my
Water
sense,
bond, rainy
right.
day fund.
But be that as it may, it does seem as if there's a lot of momentum towards the center. When you think about the Republicans that did win in those targeted races, I mean, they seem fairly centrist.
Sure.
And then Jackie Irwin, who's the Democrat that won, I mean, she's a centrist. I mean, I'm sure even you would admit that.
Yes.
And so, is this the rise of the mods? And you look at the California legislature?
I think time will tell. What I really think it shows more than ideology is Californians want leaders who will roll up their sleeves despite our differences and disagreements and get results. There are so many areas, you talk about economic growth and jobs, education, transparency, that don't need to be partisan in nature, where we should be able to work together and deliver solutions that will improve the California economy,
Right.
that will improve the quality of life and opportunities for individuals and families.
So, look, the Democrats and Republicans came together epically with Prop 1, the water bond, Prop 2, the rainy day fund. I follow you on Twitter. I follow Tony Atkins on Twitter, the speaker. Sometimes I don't know whose tweet it is because you're both pushing the same things, or you were at least before the election. What a great model. What are you looking to push in 2015? What's the great bipartisan compromise for 2015?
I think it will center on 2 things. One, the implementation of the water bond now. We have to make sure we're increasing supply and delivering
Right.
water to the communities in desperate need. And 2, I think higher education. We have a lot of work to do to stabilize tuition rates in this state. Here
Kristin,
we're at the home of
Olsen,
CSU Stanislaus.
yeah.
That's what we'll work on together.
I mean, we know it's been in the news lately, the desire of the UC trustees to spike tuition rates, and the governor's not for it, the speaker's not for it, the leader's not for it. So where do you go with that?
I think what we have to do is find solutions because we need to have UCs and CSUs that are affordable, accessible, top quality, and we have a long way to go to figure out how to provide that long term in a way that keeps tuition stable and affordable for families. So we've put some ideas out both in the Assembly and the Senate that we need to work on, but basically the state needs to invest in our universities and we need to be responsible with the money that taxpayers have already given
So
to fund that.
how do you do that? Do you extend Prop 30? Do you take away the middle class scholarship that was passed?
I don't
what
think we
do you
need to do either of those. What we really need to do is make sure that we're prioritizing funding in the state budget for higher education. There's already more revenue given into the California General Fund from taxpayers than any other state in the nation. We should be able to increase investment in higher education over lesser priorities.
Her name is Kristen Olsen. We are in her district in Turlock, California. She is the GOP leader of the California State Assembly. I'm Brad Pomerance. It's California.